So, welcome in everyone. Welcome to the session. I am the Wombat of DM, of course, and we are here with session 67 of our Seregen campaign. We're getting very close to a magic number, which will actually be happening on our 3-year anniversary, believe it or not. So that'll be pretty cool. Um, so welcome in everyone. Let's let the party introduce themselves, and then we'll see what's going on.
Oh, hey, didn't see you there. I'm Banewall, but in D&D times, I play Belzian Gilkis, who is a half-elf monk. He is full of intrepidation.
I'm Amadus, and I play Roger Mays, the Wood Elf Assassin. He is not full of intrepidation. He is unfull of intrepidation. He's empty of intrepidation.
I'm Shade. I play Ulrich Oakenhearth, the human paladin who is full of bash.
Yarvik is not with us this session, but he is normally played by Jaeger. Yarvik Vensenberger, the Halfling Ranger. I'll be attempting to puppet him for now. We'll see if he can get in later, or if not, that's okay too.
I'm Zippo, the Kobold Sorcerer, who is feeling a very similar feeling right now in this current moment that he's in. If I think we did, no wait, never mind. I don't think we ended on that moment. Never mind.
What moment did you
Maybe?
think we ended on?
I'm 80% sure we ended where he discovered Gormir dead, but I think
That's
that is
correct.
right. Okay,
Yeah.
great. Yeah, so he's feeling a very similar sense. You know, Gormir dying and Jordan leaving, almost same traumatic events.
Yeah, very traumatic for sure, and you're the one to discover it. So let's see what the party feels happened last time. Anybody want to give me a summary?
Yeah, we traveled via cart, which was pretty good. The and then we didn't really get a lot of like big encounters. I don't think we just kind of been cruising, and then we had a very professional, totally not aggro conversation with the vampire about a map and a dog, and then you know terms were worked out that were very beneficial in threats. I mean, not threats, and then as a backup plan, we planned on going to Gormir to let him know about, hey, we might need you to hold this thing out for a minute, let us get through if something happens. And no response was given, so the party voted to send Zippo, the polymorpher, through the ring. Through the ring, I went as a rat. I popped out of rat form by dropping concentration, and then found Gormir dead in a suitcase, or not suitcase, a sleeping bag.
Dead in a suitcase has very different implications.
Yeah, it does.
If they had
Get
time
in
to
there.
bring the suitcase, I'm sure they would have stuffed him in one.
Yeah.
But here we are missing our contact.
Missing little girl, possible vampire that betrayed us. Not really sure on that one yet.
Yeah, so the little girl that the party saved 2 sessions ago is missing, is not in her bedroll that lays next to the dead Gormier. And that's where we kind of left
pretty
things.
Good idea of what happened.
I will also note that the party made plans for their conversation that is upcoming with the vampire queen, and peppered Zichter with questions regarding that quest line with varying degrees of success. And as Zippo mentioned, the map that he has as his trinket that he obtained as part of his backstory. Zichter was not happy that Zippo had it, and Zippo was not happy that Zichter wanted it. So they had a little hostile moment there. But Ulrich managed to kind of dissuade the moment for now. So
Good thing for Zichter.
What was for?
It's a good thing for Zichter.
Good thing for Zichter for sure. Now that being said, Zichter is on a hunt right now. So the party is alone with this moment. Zippo You find yourself not able to communicate with the party through the ring, even though you have, the portal kind of bridges that gap. It seems like it doesn't work that way.
Gotcha.
But you are able to call out to them and let them know.
Yeah, I'll pick the portal up, and I'll be like, I'll stick like part of my mouth through the portal to make sure that they can hear me. I'm like, hey guys, Gormir's dead.
Well, fuck. Do you see the kid? Do you see Sally?
Nope.
Okay, can you tell how he died?
Possibly drained of blood.
Okay.
Well, that narrows it down
Look,
significantly.
Yeah. Look, just dude, if there's somewhere that's kind of safe to hide without burying that the marsupialis thing there, that bag, just do that and come back on the other side. I don't know if you should be there alone. And
Okay. Zippo will put try to hide the marsupialis around a tree somewhere around here, like towards the base of it, so that nobody finds it. Hopefully, without burying it.
Okay, so the marsupialis is in Gormier's bag. Are you taking it out and putting it somewhere?
Yeah.
Okay. So to hide it, I would say, what would we say would be a good skill check for hiding something? Would that be a stealth? Or would it be a sleight of hand? Like, it would probably be a stealth, right?
One of those two. I could see arguments for either.
yeah, you could do like a stealth intelligence. Which I'm sorry that I said, but yeah, stealth or investigation, but that's also intelligence.
Yeah. Maybe investigation to find the right spot for it, for sure. I was kind of leaning toward that. Uh-oh.
Middle of the street it is.
Can I don't know if you'll be okay with this, but I have an idea. So Zippo is going to go up to where Gormir's bag was and place it directly on the opposite side.
So, like, there's the bag, and he's, like, putting the bag over top of...
He's I imagine Gormir was sleeping near a tree.
Oh, I just
with
saw your
Gormir-
roll, I see.
Yeah. Yeah. So Zippo's gonna put it on the exact opposite side of that same tree.
Okay. I mean, the only way it could be worse is if you just put it underneath the bedroll.
Well, if I didn't have to go back through it, I was just gonna toss it.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like a frisbee.
Hidden now.
Not even we know where it is. Yeah.
All right, so
Okay,
Zippo
then.
kind of...
Before Zippo comes back through, Ulrich, can you pop out your globe and look and see where it is on our world map?
That's a good idea, but I think doesn't that have some limitations? But yeah, I pop it out because I'm trying to remember. It's a little late in the night.
All right, you can see a light on the map right now. It is located in
Is anybody there?
Yep, that's correct. That's the new light that has appeared in the Krata, separate from the party.
Oh shit, that's so damn close.
Oh, is anybody there?
Yep.
All right. I was
Yep.
going to say, before Zippo comes back through, Ulrich, could you look at our world map on the globe and point out where he is?
Yeah.
Oh, did you not see? It's right here. Sorry.
What? I think the "is anyone there" question was actually Mike related.
Yeah,
But it also worked in game.
Yeah, so I mean, he was so close to the bear to Seregen. I wish
Oh no,
I
he's
wish
like
we could
almost there.
figure out
Is
what. Yeah,
I know my investigation was crappy, but is the Ulrich's signet ring and the letter here, or are they gone?
They are not there.
Okay. Okie dokie.
all right. So this brings up a lot of questions. Like if it was the kid, when did she turn?
I'm gonna come back through real fast, guys. If we don't have anything else over here.
Yep.
I
All right.
assume we have nothing else over here.
So Zippo, you turn,
Yeah.
you polymorph again.
Yeah.
All right.
And I go back through and unpolymorph when I get through the ring.
Just do me a favor. Post polymorph into the chat for me.
Okie dokie.
I like to keep that habit of if we cast a spell, it gets posted. Thank you. Continue.
So I go
Oh.
go through the ring and unpop, and then I tell the party. So I know this is a wild shot. Other because I mean I also want to believe the girl was a vampire, so that makes me even more right that we should have killed her. But uh, I think what if they made some noise and Zictor heard it while we were all sleeping, and he went through as a vampire as a bat and killed Gormir and did something with the little girl, and then he has the stuff.
That sounds less realistic than there just being some kind of tracking spell on the girl that pointed the vampires at
I didn't even
Gormir.
think of that.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Fair enough.
I'm sure there's all sorts of magics that could have been used to track somebody or something that they carry. But it really seems like the most unfortunate luck.
It's so strange to me. I mean, why? Okay.
Everything in this place is cruel
What's
and
this?
senseless. This is the least unusual thing that's happened since we got here.
Hmm. Yeah, they're all
I mean,
close to the border.
that's
Maybe they've set up some kind of border patrols or something of the sort.
could be that. But we
But
didn't
what do you
encounter
think
anything
strange
like
about
that.
That you both talked over each other.
it? Sorry, Ulrich. What did you find strange about it, other than it's horrible and senseless?
Well, okay, we didn't encounter any major resistance, going northward and back and forth there. So, having a line of checkpoints to the west is a lot. But on the other hand, I guess they got the elves pretty well under their thumbs up north, and they don't really have the same kind of line of habitation, at least that I'm aware of, that we're aware of. But if it, I mean, the big weird thing to me is how important, if you're right, Roger, how important is that kid? It's one child. Like, that, I get it. They view livelihood in a different fashion, but if one of my, you know, if a chicken got away I'm not going to worry about that chicken that much. Although I
mean,
suppose it's more like an
Like an
ox.
ox. Still.
Yeah.
I mean, if we go by Zippo logic, I mean, if I lost a gold coin, I would hunt it down till the end. Gotta have the board.
Sure, yeah, okay.
And it's kind of about principle.
But on the
too. I
other
mean,
hand,
that's mine. Why is someone else taking it? It's mine, you know?
right.
That is a good point. These vampire folks do seem quite possessive. Although, now that you mention that, Ulrich, it does seem a little strange that we've gone all the way north, and now we're going all the way south, and we've really only run into about 2 vampires.
Yeah, it really hasn't been that many. That's kind of my point here is I know this whole land is strange and cruel, but I don't know. Gormir's careful. And so to me it almost makes more sense that it was the kid, right? That she took him by surprise. But if that's the case, I don't understand the turning process at all.
I mean,
But hey, I fucked up in saving her life, clearly.
You can also put out. I mean, I'm never one to point out that I might be wrong, but or stand up for other people that aren't me. But it could just be that Gormer was being hunted down by the Baroness's minions. He kind of did escape from there, and the girl just kind of got caught up in the mess that he was getting followed by. Not to point out anything that could be against me, but or say that I was wrong, but
There's plenty of explanations.
Okay, well, that kind of fucks over our escape plan a little bit. I mean, I assume you hit it well, Zippo, so maybe
nobody
we
will
can,
ever
go
find
on.
that. Nobody will ever
Good.
find that. I guarantee it.
So if we were to
Good.
escape through the marsupialis, what animal form would we have to take to go to this super secret place?
Rat is the easiest.
Rat? Okay, that's pretty small. That's a secret place. Did you hide it in a rat's nest? Don't tell me. It's a secret.
No, it's perfectly hidden. Trust. What I did was I made a big brain thought. Right, the people that hunted down Gormir, they got his stuff obviously. So that means they seen it, but they didn't take it. And I don't know why they didn't take it, but they didn't take it. So my thought process was they'll never think to look on the other side of the tree where his stuff was.
Ah,
You know, okay.
yeah, it's okay. It's fine. We'll make do.
Perfectly thought. I swear.
Yeah.
Hey, do you guys think Cartholomew likes us? Like, maybe enough to go on an adventure without Victor?
No.
Oh,
No,
no.
not yet. Okay, maybe we could work on that. So I think we just got to cover ourselves in the stinky sauce, and then sing to it a little bit, or whatever happened there. I'm not sure.
So one bit of clarification that I'd like to explore when it comes to the polymorph plan. From what I understand about the most you can do is twin polymorph, correct?
Yep.
And you can twin a spell that requires concentration?
Yep.
Okay. So you'd only be able to do that twinning once, correct?
I can do it as many times as I have sorcery points.
Okay. But you'll also need the spell slots to do it, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Just
So if my mathing is correct, excuse me, with my sorcery points, I could technically twin polymorph 3 times with 4th level spots.
but not all at the same time.
Oh no,
In
not all
3
at the same
rounds.
time. Just
Three
I could
rounds.
I could twin it, get the first two out, done. Twin it, get the second 2 out, and then the last one would just be me running through.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Any more lines of thought or questioning about either the plan or the current predicament? Zictor's usually gone at least an hour, so that's why I'm checking.
Unless we're trying to escape right now, which seems ill-advised, it'd be best to trust that Zippos hit it well and just lay low.
Yeah.
Okay. So the party continues to wait for Zictor. The cart kind of wanders around every once in a while, seeming to snatch at something in the air, crunch greedily, and then kind of settle back down. Eventually, Zictor returns. This time, rather than returning in his bat form, he walks. He walks into view, carrying what looks like a large deer, which he provides to Cartholomew, who devours it hungrily. He needed to eat.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Good evening.
How was your hunt?
He turns looking south and he says, "Well, are we ready for our final push?"
Indeed.
Sure.
Yep. Let's do it.
Looking south, you can see the mountains of Mayoneer kind of peeking over the horizon in the night sky. The night is lit by the moons. It's a cloudless night tonight. So you can kind of see the dark outline of them on the horizon. He whistles and you can hear Cartholomew kind of like make a swishing sound in his mouth and a great slurping unpleasantness. And then he takes a great gulp and opens his mouth, which is now apparently clean.
Lovely.
Have you reapplied?
We make sure to do that real quick.
Before I reapply, because I don't want to hurt Brunhild's nose, I'm gonna go down and feed her as well.
Feed her? Okay.
Yeah.
Copy that.
I don't think we have any duck sausage left because it would be all bad by now. So I've been giving her rations.
Zictor watches you go down into the bag.
Go down in. I'm trying to find my rations so I can make sure I mark it off.
Yeah, you bought a lot of them.
Yeah.
Cleared out Aurora.
Hey, it was important, okay? Very important to have those rations at the time.
All right, so Brunhild is fed. The rest of the party has oiled up.
Yep.
And so too does Zippo afterward.
Yeah.
All right. Zictor steps into the cart and waves you in.
Get inside.
All right. So everybody enters
we go.
Cartholomew.
Mhm.
All right.
Indeed.
Yep. Yarvik does too. Kind of holding his breath as he goes over the threshold. You never get used to that, he says.
I guess.
And with another whistle, Bartholomew is off again, traveling south in that familiar ramp up in speed, and then kind of the sway back and forth as he lumbers forward. Zictor kind of is idly watching the road ahead as Bartholomew follows it.
Once we are getting closer to the area where the map is, Zippo's going to open the map and stare at it, waiting on it for it to turn into a treasure map.
Say that again?
As we get closer to the area where the map leads to, like, with the map I had, Zippo's going to open it and watch at it, hoping for it to turn into a treasure map.
Got it.
He's very excited if you look at him. He's like, "Oh, treasure."
All right. So the sky continues to kind of get filled by the mountains until the sky disappears from view, and all you can see is mountains ahead. Obviously, you're in a beast, right? So you don't really have the height advantage. You can't see up, so it's kind of like looking through a window. You can only see up to a certain point, right? Especially since there's an overhang. So the mountains get closer and closer. And it seems like you're going to reach them before the end of the night. It was fairly early when you braked for the hunt.
All right. So, any last bits of advice, Victor?
In what fashion are we speaking of? There's many things I could advise you on.
Well, we'll get dealer's choice.
Well, you are the one asking the question. What advice are you searching for?
Well, I suppose. You know what? I'm curious about something. Um, can you? We kind of touched on this a little bit, but can you sense your own kind? Like, can you tell when someone else is a vampire or perhaps about to become a vampire?
To a point, yes. I can sense death. I can tell if something is undead or not. And typically speaking, I can smell when something is not well and near death.
Is there a way to learn that
Been
ability?
thinking a lot. Well, I can actually teach you how to sense whether something's undead.
No, I mean like the smell part, like seeing if like smelling when something's unwell, because that would be pretty useful.
You would need to develop a taste for blood, Zippo.
I think I might be able to do that.
Does
Been
duck stuffing
thinking a
count?
lot. um, Victor, I've been thinking a lot about that kid that we released. You know, I did what I could, what with her arm and all that. But did you sense anything strange about her? Is there any chance she might survive out there because maybe she's on the way?
I would say there is little to no chance that she is still alive out in the wilds of Necrata. I am surprised she survived as long as she did with the injuries that she had already sustained.
Well, that's kind of what I've been thinking about. The more and more I think about it, little kid losing an arm like that. All right, it's enough to. I've been in war. That kills people. I mean, it can kill people pretty quickly. They just kind of go into shock and then boom, dead. But I don't know. I was just thinking maybe she was getting ready to become a vampire, and I didn't even pick up on that myself. So I wondered if you noticed anything strange like that.
Victor thinks for a second. He says, I do not think that I sensed any of that nature about her, but she was turned into several things around my presence. Perhaps my senses were confused.
Nah, a sharp guy like you, I don't think that'd be possible.
You were probably right.
So Zictor, are you nervous?
Please give me more definition to this question.
Do you have a feeling of incoming future anxiety? Like, are you borrowing anxiety from the future and giving it to yourself now? Are you unsure of how events will unfold before you?
Are we talking specifically about meeting with the Queen?
Yes, that's what I meant.
I see. Well, you do not live as long as I have without entertaining a certain amount of nervous. But I do not call it this. It is just the most relatable emotion for you. I call it the deep darkies. The,
The deep darkies.
yes, the lingering feelings that keep me up during the day.
I see. Sometimes you'll recall an argument you had with somebody at like 3 in the afternoon and just lie awake thinking about how you could have won that argument. I understand.
Well, he looks over at Zippo and then he says, I, 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 I have my fair share of moments that I give thought to. I would say that I am nervous about entering Maynir and what might wait for us. Simply because I am bound
would
by a
set your-
contract. I would not worry about it normally, but I worry because I must fulfill getting you to where you need to go. And this may prove difficult with my kind. Particularly because they know of you. I am not concerned about getting you to see the Queen. Getting in is not the problem. It is why I must ask that when we enter Maynir, the city proper, while we are in the passages, you may stay out of Cartholmew if you need to, but when we are in the city, you must not leave the cart. The more that see you, the more suspect we will be. Better to beeline it straight to the Queen. No questions asked.
After he says that, Zippo's gonna tap, like, take one hand off the map and tap Cartholomew wherever he said that. Like, why would I ever want to leave this? Cartholomew's great.
He nods, self-satisfied.
After he nods, Zippo's like, so, what do you think I gotta convince your queen to give me one of these?
It is not as simple as a gift. Bartholomew I raised since he was a child. And even then, you saw how quickly he went he went
They're all
feral.
hungry, angry. Yep. Yep, I got you, bud. I definitely want to figure this out, though. I love these things. This is great. This is almost as good as getting to ride a dragon. Speaking of the Draco Lich thing, is that something I have to ask your queen for, or is that something I also have to learn how to do and then spend time doing? You don't even got to be a big Draco Lich. Just a Draco Lich like my size would be great.
The Draco Liches do not even listen to me. You must be of leadership qualities to be able to command a Draco Lich. They are the guardians of Necrata, the guardians of Maynir.
I thought there was wild ones in the waste.
There are, but they are also guarding Necrata.
Ah. So you kind of got to beat it into them that, you're the leader now.
I would be very impressed to see this, but they are formidable even for me. And since I bear them no command, despite my status, I do not know how much luck you would fare. They are dangerous. And should you take one on alone, you would surely join the ranks of the undead.
Fair enough. Still want one, though.
But at least you would have good company if you like the Draco Lich so much. It would turn you into one of its denizens.
I mean, that's a way to go.
What? Out of morbid curiosity, What flavor of denizens does a Draco Lich usually hang around with?
Oh, its victims, after it devours them, what is left turns into its minions. There are many undead that are spread across the wastes.
Sounds like a lovely place.
Well, there's a reason we went along civilized territory. Safer and easier to travel for one such as myself.
Fair enough.
Areas that are not hospitable for humans, we tend to not go to, since they are our main source of. He pauses for a second and then shrugs and says, "Food."
And I understand.
So you asked the question, "Am I anxious?" Ulrich, are you?
Bane asked it. I really was curious on any.
Oh, forgive me. And he turns
Belzian,
and
I
looks at
apologize,
Belzian.
You know, I don't know why I sometimes think of you as Bane, Belzian.
Oh, perhaps it's something in the stars. Who can say? Maybe Zictor just sees all the food look the same. I don't know. You see one steak, you see them all. I am feeling a little bit nervous, but I think it would be strange if I didn't. They say that overconfidence is the greatest foe.
Indeed. Which is why I am a cautious one, if you have not noticed.
Well, you don't get to live as long as you if you're not, right?
Anyway, the gate approaches.
We have to stay in the cart when the gate comes by. I guess there are guards at the gate that we have to be hidden from. Or...
No, there will not be guards at the gate, but there may be a vampire waiting on the other side. Guards guarding a secret entrance would be pointless.
Unless they're also really good at being secret.
This is true, but it is better to have things hidden on the other side. This is generally the case. I have not been through here in some time, though, and given the current circumstances, I do not know what awaits us on the other side. Cartholomew will not be able to fit us through the door. I do not have a way to make it bigger, like some other members of my race. As an outrider, I am not...
There's no shame in that.
He stops for a second and then continues. As a outrider, I do not have certain privileges added to my role. I do not need to expand the portal. And with that, the mountains grow ever closer, and he's like, he says, "Well, we are close now. Shall we exit Cartholomew and walk a while? Stretch these legs?" I must say, he says as he walks, I assume everybody gets out at this point.
Yeah.
I must say, it is nice to be out in the night. And I am happy that our business is soon to be concluded. It always feels nice to conclude a deal. Only a night or two remain.
So
Time, eh?
I have to ask Victor, just so we're all clear here. Can vampires have kids?
We have children of sorts. We just do
So-
not create them the same way that the living do.
Fair enough. Whenever you're telling this story to your future kids, about how, you were part of the party that saved the world, you got to make sure to tell them I'm an actual dragon, okay?
You wish me to embellish?
Yes.
We shall see.
Fair enough. Just then, just, you'll just be like, oh yeah, I did travel with Zippo, the Dragon King, because that's gonna be our future title. By the way, I'm aiming for that one.
Well, when you accomplish such titles, I will not have to embellish.
Yeah, but if somebody starts the rumor first, it makes it easier. Especially whenever I discover, cool other dragons that we don't know about yet. Someday.
I will make no promises.
Yeah, no, I understand. Your word is your bond in this area. I understand.
Yeah, you really should have put that in the contract.
I know, right? I didn't think about it till we got here.
Hindsight.
Yeah.
So you're just counting down the time till the contract's over. If you don't mind my asking, do you have any exciting plans afterwards?
As interesting as this has been, conversing with people from another place, I am anxious to be away from the living for a while. I will take a much needed rest.
Makes sense. You've been through a lot. You've probably earned it.
I must shake off the traumas that come from that entrapment I had with a nullifier.
Yeah.
The
Those things
nullifier
suck.
was pretty gross, yeah.
How about you? Are you looking forward to our parting? Or have you enjoyed my company, comrades?
The only thing I'm gonna miss is Bartholomew.
I will miss your honesty, Zippo.
Um, I think I'll miss your company. You've been a nice, gracious guide. In the ring, Ulrich is going to think it. So just to clarify, we're right outside the gate, correct?
We're very close to the, I'll describe this now real quick. So the mountains rise quite quickly in front of you. The edge of Maynir is actually not like a steep hill, but it's a flat plain and then a cliff up until the mountains slope. So it's almost like there's a gash along this northern side of the mountains. It kind of reminds you of the valley that you were in up in Relic, where the bridge was, where it was very steep slope on each side. This is very much like that. There are like places where the land has slid and there's rubble patches and things like that. But yeah, it's mainly a steep wall. You seem to be heading straight toward it.
Yeah. Just in the ring, Ulrich will just say, Zippo, you once if are you still good giving the map over if it proves not to show any magic or any treasure?
Well, yeah, that was the part of the deal. Well, not deal, but that was the words we made.
Yep.
If it doesn't show treasure, I don't have a reason to be here.
Just making sure.
So before we enter through the passage, I do want to mention that I am fairly certain that you have devices of communication between each of you. I cannot read minds if that is what you're thinking. Hopefully that is not, because that's just further proof that I can read your mind. But I have noticed from time to time that you fall silent and glance at each other. Though occasionally Zippo has fielded this with speaking with me. But I noticed this quite early in our meeting and have continued to observe it. You all possess a ring that matches. Sometimes you subtly touch it while you're talking to each other. I just want to make sure I am right, out of idle curiosity.
Perhaps you are. Who knows? It's one of those weird things you just kind of forget about, right? Kind of like where, how long you've been a vampire, or how you turned into a vampire, or any of those things.
Well, I would just say that I wouldn't expect your devices to always work when you pass into the mountains. There are areas that you will find magic will not work.
That is good to know, as many of us are spellcasters.
Indeed.
I bring this up only because I know this might disrupt things, and so that you do not think I am doing anything, I wanted to warn you in advance. Be upfront,
That's
as they
very
say.
kind of you.
Is this a feature of the passage, or is something common inside of Mayanir? Or both?
There are areas of Mayanir as well that, well, uh, serve as barriers so that no one may pass through without being detected and things of that nature. So, generally at entrances, you'll find places of anti-magic.
Do you know how wide the range is of these anti-magic features?
Well, they are a field, if you will, a specific area. They do not wander or choose where they are, unless, of course, there is a caster utilizing this spell. And there may be some that would implement it, but um, no, it is pretty controlled. Basically, you're asking, is it like the anti-magic river from earlier, right? Where it was kind of an aura.
I was thinking more like how big is the range of like is it a field? Is it just everywhere?
It seems like he's implying it's in specific spots.
Ah, thank you for clarifying. Belzian says over the rings, Zictor, if you can hear this, say blood pudding. And then
Zuchter
he just looks at
continues.
his feet, like, very obviously.
What was that?
Then he just looks at his feet.
Okay. All right. So you get to the wall, um, and the wall seems to be the rock is a an obsidian uh, wall. It's very smooth, uh, without uh, good hardened climbing gear. It would be very difficult to climb this cliff, being that it's smooth. It almost looks polished. You can kind of see your reflection uh, in the. It's not like a mirror, but it's quite clear and polished. Um, out of character. It's not the pumice form of volcanic evidence. It's the obsidian form. So it's any pumice that was in the area is either taken, removed, or not present, and it's just like superheated rock.
Volcanic glass.
Yep.
Pumice requires it forms under very specific circumstances, whereas I mean, frankly, all volcanic rock forms under very specific circumstances.
Correct. Yeah.
But pumice requires some extra shit to be going on.
Mm-hmm. The door is hidden along this wall. There are many false doors as well.
Exciting. How will we tell them apart?
Well, that is the thing. Each seem to be real. Each has a unique puzzle to unravel. The true answer is, once the puzzle is solved, what will happen? And he walks forward, kind of walks along the wall and kind of motions you to follow him, and he looks like he's searching for something in particular. He walks surely, not questioningly, like he's waiting for something, and then suddenly he stops. He doesn't say why he stops or what is different from this area to others, so if anybody wants to make a perception check to kind of figure out why he stopped, what's different about this area, you can. Before I continue.
Hey, let's go!
This wall looks just like the wall that you've been passing for the last couple minutes, Zippo. Roger, the other thing that you really notice that's different is that Zictor and the party's reflection is a bit clearer and more more distinct than some of the other areas from earlier. Zippo, your map is still the same.
We gotta go through the door.
What was that?
So maybe the change when it goes through the door.
So, Zictor walks up to the wall, looks his reflection in the eye, and says, "After you, good sir." And his reflection opens the door and walks through. The door opens in front of Zictor, and he walks in. It's open for you as well.
Yeah, we run through.
Bartholomew contracts and kind of squeezes through the door after the rest of the party. You can kind of hear sucking sounds as he kind of sucks in all the air that, kind of like how you suck in air to get pants on or something like that. So he squeezes through the door, and then Zictor closes it behind the group.
Does the map change?
No.
When the map doesn't change, Zippo will roll it up, and he'll wait for Zictor to get done closing the door and everything, and he'll hand it to him.
He plucks it from you and pockets it. So,
You make any good discoveries with that, like it turns into a treasure map maybe like 6 years from now, and you make a good discovery, Zippo the Dragon King was part of that discovery.
So, welcome to Maynir. what you are standing in is a passage. The passage itself is fairly wide. It seems to be a mostly natural passage. It looks like the obsidian wall shines on this side too. You can see a reflection almost as evenly on this side as the other. Uh, it took about maybe 10 feet of movement to get through the entire door. Um, so you walk through a 10-foot passage of obsidian on all sides. The rock on this side of the cavern, aside from the obsidian wall behind you, is more natural and familiar to you. It looks like uh, the normal stone of the mountains you're used to. With some exceptions, there's bands of dark rock and turned earth. But for the most part, it seems more familiar. But that being said, the rock has this unfamiliar alien feeling of veins, right? It's not like the veins of like metal that you've seen in Jewel. This obsidian that kind of runs in bands through the rock from, ages of eruptions and things of that nature um, seem to give it almost a living quality. As in like you see varicose veins in a person, and you can see kind of that kind of vein of obsidian running through. Zictor seems to be attentively watching and looking ahead, waiting for the group to collect themselves.
Yeah. Do we get back in Carthalmio now, Victor, or?
He thinks for a moment. Um, Perhaps staying out for now, but we are maybe a half a day from Maenir. We must travel through the range a bit, both south and uh, east of us. There will be an anti-magic field, perhaps 50 feet from here, up ahead.
Good to know.
Will that have an impact on your contractual obligations?
That is made of sturdier stuff, young Roger.
Good. First good news we've had in a while.
I do not know what to make of that, but okay. And he begins walking forward. Keep an eye out. Let me know if you see something that is strange or dangerous. Do not touch anything that looks dangerous. It probably is. In fact, do not touch as much as possible.
Roger has his eyes peeled and ears peeled and other senses peeled for anything. You can imagine him as several bananas that have lost their outer casing.
Mm-hmm. Got it. Many fruits were peeled this day. All right, so after 50 feet, you do feel that familiar feeling you felt all the time ago when you were near the mountain and drank, or near the river and drank the water, or your beasts did in other cases. So Zippo, you feel completely separated from your magics. You feel incredibly uncomfortable. and powerless, making you likely more irritable. Ulrich, you have kind of a similar feeling, although you've got your weapon handy, so that has at least some comfort. Roger, you're kind of used to not having magic, but you recently have, so it's like you left behind a dagger. Even Zictor kind of has a grim look on his face. He doesn't really like this feeling either, it seems. And he openly shows it. He's not hiding it. This lasts for about 100 feet before that feeling dissipates. He stops at the other end of it and pauses, cocks his head.
What happened?
Well, I was expecting some form of greeting. At least some sort of guard.
Well, that's troubling.
Very troubling.
Perhaps they're on a lunch break of sorts.
Well, perhaps they have been called back as well. If you know about this, and he pats his pocket where he stashed a map, and as far as I know, you are the only ones that know of this passage, other than myself, and, well, the demon. But it is unlikely that the demons have reached this place before us, correct?
So we would, I mean, they kind of just summoned out of nowhere originally, so they're who say they didn't just open a portal around here. But I mean, we would have at least seen some kind of, proof.
Yes.
I doubt they could have cleaned it up.
Yeah, I do not see any evidence of damage to the area. No scorch marks.
Unless it was a mind controlling demon. I don't know if vampires can be mind controlled, but
It would be very difficult.
it's possible for a demon, maybe.
I would not say this, but I do not know every demon. Orcus, I am told, is quite powerful. Maybe him. But even then, there are certain limits to controlling a person, as you might find, should you ever have the need to.
I just kill out of control.
This is sometimes easier, yes. It depends
A
on the
lot
will.
easier. So should we act like nothing's wrong and keep going to not seem suspicious, or do we show suspicion and prepare for anything that might happen ahead?
I will be cautiously optimistic and say that we have been fortunate not to have to encounter a guard of this passage. But keep your eyes peeled in case there is something ahead.
Roger. So
Yes?
as he's pointing directly at Roger.
Roger.
Roger's got the eyes.
As many as they let me have.
Do you want more? We can get you more.
My mother always claimed to have eyes in the back of her head, but maybe that's a female elf thing.
Fair enough.
Roger would win any argument with many eyes, because the eyes would have it.
Only if I was trying to get some resolution to pass.
I'm very curious to know what my queen will agree to when you come to terms with her. I wonder if she will agree or not. He continues walking forward.
Well, I certainly hope so, but I suppose we'll all find out together.
Well, I will not be there, but I'm sure I will find out.
That's one way or another.
Word travels fast in these lands, hey?
Sometimes. So the passage continues upward and then downward, and it kind of twists left and right. It seems to be following a natural kind of formation. At times, it seems that the cave has been bored, but other times it seems to be more natural. What you do know is that as you continue along the passage, it does seem to grow larger with every passing range. So let me update the light of the group, and I can actually get rid of this light up here now. I'm gonna hide the light that Zippo was at for Gormier, so that I can update it whenever we need it again. Since I'm sure the party plans to go back there at some point, so I'll be able to light that back up then. Roger, with your perception, you don't see anything out of the ordinary. As you're traveling, Gormier kind of points in the distance some small strands of what seems to be molten rock, and he says, never touch that. Do not even get close. It is harmful to flesh, even at a distance. Living things can die of heat exhaustion, I am told.
Understood.
Maynir is full of that stuff. It is a warm place. Be sure to hydrate often while we are there. If you see a stream, let me check it first, and we will refill your water skins so that you are not affected as much when the time comes to pass through the city.
I don't know about any of you others, but the urge to touch that stone is definitely rising.
It falls out of sight again as you round turn again. The passage is quite high now. It's about 20 feet wide, and there's a bend ahead, and then it opens into a larger passage. So just give me 1 second. Okay. I just want to check a few things. So I'm going to change the map over as you round the turn, and then I'll identify a few things. So as you round the turn, you come into what looks like to be a quarry setting. So the quarry seems to be long abandoned. There is a lot of old equipment and stairways made out of both stone and wood. The wood seems to be fairly aged and almost petrified from disuse. And that's just kind of an idle description, because the primary thing to see is in the center of the quarry. standing what seems to be guard erect is a large skeletal dragon. And large, I don't mean in terms of D&D size. It's a lot bigger than that. The dragon is looking directly at the party and arches its back. Its eyes light up a red, and it growls angrily. You're facing a Dracolich. Zictor, kind of leading the party, stops dead in his tracks and stops the party, but the party has already tries to stop the party, but the party has already rounded the corner. And he says, "This is not good. I do not have power over this Dracolich, as I have told you before. The Queen has made this the guardian of the passage. This is not good at all. It has already spotted us. We only have one option. We must fight it," he says grimly. And with that, I'd like everyone to roll initiative.
Dun dun dun.
Oh.
Wait, Zippo's been looking to encounter
I'm
one of
so
these things for a
excited.
long time now.
I'm so excited.
Way to go, Zippo.
Oh fucking hell! Well, why did I bother being an assassin if I can't roll above a fucking 5 on initiative?
You need a feat to let
Have you
you
tried
reroll.
having a higher initiative?
I've got plus 10. It doesn't help.
But have you tried plus 3? I find that does well.
All right.
Is this a bad time? Should we leave? No? Oh, okay.
There's no anti-magic here, right?
Correct.
Okay.
That was back. Where is initiative for this thing?
Well, I don't know jack shit about Draco Liches.
Well,
Well, at least
it's
not
probably
5th
like a
edition
dragon,
ones.
All right.
and probably kind of like a lich, is my guess. It's in the name.
All right. I'll add my numbers. All right. So let me formulate the group. I used your characters that I made for you for the council meeting. So if you don't like those, I can go back to the other tokens that we had before. But let's kind of talk about the battleground a little bit before we continue. So as you can see here, we have kind of here, just pretend that none of this stuff exists. The passage starts kind of where you
I
are.
hate to interrupt, but I'm
So-
still on the map of Seregen here.
Oh, great. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's just do that then. Is that better?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Holy guacamole.
So this is the edge of the passage here. So like, I know it looks like there's an upper area where you could go to. That's just rock wall. So, like this is rock wall. There's no passage down from where you are. So, think of this like this, like that.
Gotcha.
Okay. Sorry, but just to clarify, that bridge, like here.
That bridge is
does
there.
exist.
Yeah, correct. Just
Okay,
think
cool,
of
cool.
all this as sheer cliff, sheer wall going straight up to the ceiling. And same here. So this is like scaffolding up against the rock wall is what this is.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Okay, and then like this area down here is like
Lower.
downwards.
Yeah, correct.
Lower elevation. Is the Draco Lich on a higher elevation than us, or is it?
It's
equal
about,
there?
it's a little higher. It's about, I would say 5 feet higher.
Not a huge amount.
Yeah. That also being said, I'd like to have the order of the group. Zictor's obviously in front. I think Yarvik is usually. I can check real quick at the marching order. Let's see. So it's usually, and you can situate yourselves. It's usually Yarvik in the front, Ulrich and Zippo on the left and right, just one square behind. Belzian, 2 squares behind Yarvik, and then Roger taking up the rear. So Roger would be back here, Yarvik, something like that. Does that look about right?
That works.
It sounds like something
Yeah,
we
I think
do.
that's what it looks like. Yeah.
All right. So we've rolled initiative, and we're going to be taking a break in a minute, but I do have something to do first. All right, let me know if you can hear this. I'm going to try something else first. Can you hear this? Did you hear that?
No.
No.
No? Okay. All right. Okay, I think I have it. You can hear this, right?
Nope.
All right. So
Is it playing through?
it'll play through Roll20. So make sure your Roll20 sound is on.
So that, yeah, I was gonna say that might be off for me. I see something is playing.
Okay, cool.
It was playing. It's gone.
Yeah. All right. So, as you square up to fight the Dracolich, you hear a voice.
Guardian of Mayhenia, heed me. I invoke my right as Baroness with all the gravitas of Queen Cordelia herself. Do not harm these foolish mortals, or you will face the wrath of the crown.
Everybody heard that, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. And that's where we're going to take our break.
Dun dun dun.
All right, so we'll be back in 10 minutes. Don't go anywhere, folks. We'll see you soon. Welcome back from the break, everyone. We are back with our second half of the session. The party just heard a voice call out as they were squaring off against Dracolich in front of them. As you hear this voice booming, I'll let the Baroness take her action.
The Baroness is going to step into view from across the quarry.
Is it just the Baroness stepping into view?
Femur is going to tag along right behind her.
Okay.
As well as 3 shambling, misshapen creatures with a single large eye protruding from their heads.
Where are they located? Right behind her as well?
2 of them are going to flank her, and 1 of them is going to fall behind Femur.
Okay. Anything else?
Why, yes. A large monstrosity will shamble forward in this direction.
All right. So the Baroness appears as this voice kind of projects from across the quarry, at it. And I'll just play it one more time. Just no, you heard it once. I think everybody got it right. Nobody had any issues hearing it, or
We
do,
got it.
do you need to hear it again?
All set. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I knew there was a slight echo, so I just want to double check.
There was an incredible amount of echo on the front half for.
Yeah, I think somebody's speaker was picking it up.
My bad. I thought maybe the echo was just it being epic.
Yeah, I thought that was intentional.
There was some echo, but there was also a double echo at the beginning. Here, I'll play it one more time. Just make sure if you're playing it through your speakers, just mute your mic.
Guardian of Mayhem, heed me. I invoke my right as
Oh,
Baroness.
so that's on my side somehow.
No, that sounded like the right amount of echo to me.
Okay, all right. Huh. Okay, then yeah, it was exactly as intended. All right. I'll play it.
Yes, with all the gravitas of Queen Cordelia herself. Do not harm these foolish mortals, or you will face the wrath of the crown.
All right. There we go. With that, the Dracolich straightens to hear the sound, and its eyes stop glowing red. So with initiative starting, the question is, does the party still wish to be within initiative? I need to roll Jaegers, so let me get Jaeger up.
Well, Ulrich's not gonna fight if there's nothing attacking him.
Belzian's not gonna fight, but he will still hold battle stance.
Okay. I'll go around in order. Let me just roll initiative first for Yarvik. All right. So initiative is looks like Belzian and Yarvik both are going first. Followed by Ulrich, then Roger, then Zippo. The dragon goes before Roger. All right, so Belzian holds his ground. So does Yarvik, kind of waiting to see what happens. But Yarvik does say out loud, guys, what's the plan? We find this thing?
It doesn't seem like it plans to fight us right now.
Zippo, did you befriend it already?
I wish it'd be so much better.
All right. So when it gets to the Dracolich's turn, the Dracolich launches itself up and flies off down the passage and out of view. And yes, it does have that kind of movement.
It was nice to meet you.
From across the cavern, you hear the Baroness projecting. It is now safe for you to approach. I still suggest that for your safety you do so swiftly.
Yeah. If we're not in an initiative order, Ulrich will begin the movements. But as he passes by Zictor,
Zictor stops you.
Oh,
He holds out
Okay.
a hand and he stops you and he says, "You have history with this Baroness."
More than I ever wanted to have.
Yeah, we do.
I will not allow you to approach her. I cannot allow you to come to any
Okay.
harm. He says seriously.
Okay. Can you go speak with the Baroness?
He calls out across the chasm and he says, "What is the meaning of this, Baroness Bevan Theris?"
I have come on behalf of the Queen to grant these mortals an audience with the crown. If you have come to escort them, your job is done. They are safe.
I would disagree with this, Baroness. You are not under contract as I am. I cannot trust your word. I know your history with these creatures, and I have been signed to take them to the Queen.
The Baroness interrupts, scoffing. You know my history with these creatures? Then you know that if I had been given the same grace that you apparently had, they would have been here a week ago.
I'm sorry. Perhaps I'm a little out of turn here, but they is a strong word, as I believe your queen very clearly said only one of us was to come here.
Had you not wrung your hands and delayed and mumbled your way through indeterminate negotiations, you will recall I offered to bring you all here before I sent the letter to the Queen. Do you not?
I'll be right back, guys.
I mean, I thought that you had to send a letter to your queen, really more than anything. It's not as if, we really didn't know your culture and things like that. I will say Victor has been a little more forthcoming with how things work.
No. Allow me to litigate our first evening together. I offered
Please.
you a deal that if you let me send the figurines ahead, that I would bring you all
We did.
to the Queen.
The what?
Safely,
I
unharmed.
Sorry, actually, could I point of order here?
Yeah.
Maybe because it's been a while. I don't recall letting slip that we had 2 figurines,
And yet she said 2.
but maybe I'm mistaken. Uh-huh.
So, out of
And-
character, she does know of the second one because of her sword.
There you go.
Right. Okay. Right, but so then I think Ulrich would then just say, I'm sorry.
No, you learned of these figurines after we handed your ass to you. It wasn't a thing of, let me send these on and you get to go talk to the queen. It was a thing of, you sent a letter to your queen, she came back and said, one of us gets to live. Now,
Out of character,
we're in a contract.
She did know about one, the one with the
Go ahead,
apple in
sorry.
its mouth.
Right, yes. Absolutely. Right. I just wanted to clarify that, like, you know, if I think Ulrich's going to be like, if
Go ahead.
oh, I was gonna say, Ulrich's gonna say, like, if we're splitting hairs at this moment, like, sending a figure in exchange for safe travel, yes, we were negotiating that. Sending both figures, that wasn't part of a negotiation. And since this is a very contract-oriented society, he is going to very clearly say, I'm sorry, the negotiation that you were trying to make without clearly explaining your contract, law, and society was that we'd send one figurine on. We asked simply that you would send a letter of introduction. And in response, your queen asked that you kill us all. Now, we've come to learn a little bit more about how contracts work with vampires. We understand these things, which is why our friend Zictor here is not letting us move forward. I am 100% happy to talk to Her Majesty. That's all we ever wanted. But I think that we need to be a little more precise about what promises and delays were happening. Now, this gentleman has a contract with us, and he will not let us go forward until we are assured safe passage. Now, it seems to me that perhaps the two of you need to make a contract with one another. Would that be agreeable?
The contract at hand is with you. Zictor and my long-standing relationship, for now at least, will go unchanged.
All right. So we start a contract. Zictor, if the contract that we enter in with the Baroness says that she will not intentionally lead us into harm, will you permit us to go forward?
You would need to drop the contract that you have now to renegotiate.
Oh, I see. So we can only ever have one contract with a vampire? Of any between two? Like, I can't have multiple contracts with vampires?
Oh, you can have a contract with the Baroness, but I must be
but
the
we
one
would
to
have...
take you. I am under contract to. I cannot lend you to her, and I must, per the contract, take you there myself.
That is true. Baroness, is there any way that we could draft a contract with you which allows Zictor to lead us to the throne room with you leading Zictor? As you said, we're a week behind schedule, so I am willing, I suppose, to add another week to that if we need that much time to negotiate.
The Baroness glares at Zictor, and one of the misshapen creatures in halting, abrupt awkward movements in ways that twist and contort its body in ways it should not. Also stares dead center at Zictor.
Do you need me to make a save?
Yep.
All right. Wisdom based?
Yes, it is.
All right. What's the
It's opposed.
no, I know. What do I need to beat?
You will need to beat.
Actually, I'll just do it this way. Does a Oh, where did you go?
You will need to beat a 21.
Okay.
Sorry. Not
If it
charisma.
is a save, he has a +5 to his save. For what that's
Sorry, not
worth, because
wisdom,
he is.
charisma.
It's charisma?
It's charisma.
Okay, thank you.
Well, I will again just note he has a +5 because he is an ally to Ulrich, and within my.
And that's for every
aura.
save, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I make it. I rolled 13 plus 9. Or 16 plus 9. 19. 16 plus 9 is blah 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 25.
Similarly, two of the other creatures will look at Ulrich and Belzian.
Okay.
It was a charisma save, you said?
It is a charisma save.
So much charisma.
There we go. Belzian, you get a 13 if you're within. I think you're within. Oh, actually, yes, you are. You're within the range.
Ulrich is rolling with advantage.
No, Ulrich rolled with a inspiration.
Okay.
Sorry, Chuck. What are we adding to it?
So you rolled an 8 plus 5 Belzian, so you got a 13 and failed.
Gotcha.
Ulrich was a 26.
Yep, 26 total.
Succeeds. By the way, the Baroness has been moving closer to the group and is now taking the place of where the Dracolich was.
Oh, good. Now we don't have to yell.
Could I get control of Femur?
Yeah, sorry.
Also, I love that femur's here. That's very nostalgic.
Looks like I accidentally put your other one on the map layer instead of the token layer.
Are we back in initiative now?
If you'd like. So, Belzian,
Hello.
give me a secret about you, or rather, give the creature that is staring you down a secret about you.
Ooh, a secret about Belzian?
Mm-hmm.
He's actually really insecure and is afraid that everyone he knows does not like him very much. But he'd never say that.
You hear in a muttery, stilted manner. That very insecurity thrown right back at you. Does everyone hate me? I can't be sure if everyone's just tolerating me and not letting me know it.
Halcyon starts sweating visibly.
The Baroness purses her lips.
So I'm just gonna point out here that I actually maybe I should ask, do I feel the effects of like her attempt or
Um, you don't. If you throw it off,
okay.
you don't feel anything.
Okay.
I mean, for a moment, you just kind of you're already kind of thinking about your secrets, right? So I think that doesn't really help this. I can't think of a thing that might give it away. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. Um so look, I'm I'm serious. We want to be here. Her Majesty clearly wants us to come and chat. And
Oh, indeed.
right, so you understand we have a contract with Zictor, and his contract will not allow us to go forward. Are you willing to negotiate a contract with us that permits Zictor to come? His contract ends when we get to Her Majesty.
It's strange that you entered a contract with a sanctioned slave catcher that would not allow you to approach any other vampire on your way to the
Oh,
capital of vampires?
I believe you can read between the lines, my good lady. It is not that we cannot approach another vampire. The issue is that we are not to be put into harm's way knowingly under Zictor's care. Since we have a bit of a unpleasant history of late, for which I do apologize. I trust you can understand it was in self-defense. I believe Zictor cannot allow us to go forward. I am speaking on his behalf here. Please, Zictor, if you wish to explain that more, go for it. But we need assurances from you in the form of a contract, which we now understand how those work, that you will not bring harm to us. We can negotiate those terms, what that means, but it needs to be in agreement with Zictor's contract, and Zictor needs to be able to lead us to the throne room. Because without him doing that, he does not complete his contract.
Oh, the throne room or wherever the queen so wishes to meet us.
Well, that is true. That is true. We'll gladly meet her wherever Her Majesty would like.
You'll have to forgive us for last time we met, but you also have to understand that not coming to harm is very important to us.
Oh,
Yeah.
indeed. Believe me, I understand very well the resolve to not come to harm and the resolve to defend oneself when such a prospect arises.
True, but it may be a little bit different for you. No offense, of course, to vampire kind, but you tried to kill most of us, and we punched you into mist or whatever happened there. But if you were to do the same to us, it probably wouldn't have ended up so well.
Yes, you could have finished the job, and you didn't. For that, I am grateful. And for your ability to defend yourself so capably against me, you have impressed me. And you have impressed the Queen. Now, I am more than happy to draw up a contract with you. But I will not allow
Wonderful.
Zictor to come along. And I am sure that his resolve will let him know why.
Victor, would you like to speak to that? Actually, hey guys, and Victor, please feel part of this conversation. I really do value your input. We can nullify our contract with Victor once we hash out a contract with the Baroness. And if our contract is largely the same, does anyone have any objections to that? Victor, are you cool with that? Cool's not really a word that I've used very often. It doesn't quite feel like it's in my vernacular, but I'm trying it out.
I believe the last time you used cool, you said, you know what's cool? Silence.
I did say that. See, like I said, I've been trying it out of late. Does it fit? It feels wrong with this voice. Like I feel like I've got a face that doesn't really belong in an age of technology.
Zictor impatiently brushes off the comment and says, the Baroness did not get where she is by luck. I have worked with her a long time, and I regret this contract because it has put me in her path, as opposed to alongside it.
Well, now, in fairness, again, if we nullify it, there's no reason you can't work together. Right? There's just a moment in an otherwise immortal life, as far as I can tell. This should be a blip for you. Like this moment hasn't forever put you at odds.
Well, you were very careful to never drop the contract before.
Yeah.
Why now, when you're in the presence of multiple vampires?
Well, because I would draft the contract with her first, essentially transfer your contract to her. Like I just want to write more or less the exact same. I want to use we would call it a boilerplate, I think I would take it, show it to her, make sure that she agrees with it. If she agrees with it and signs off on it, making whatever minor modifications we need to that we all feel comfortable and copacetic about, then dropping yours means we've got the same kind of protection.
Far be it from
It's
me
not
to
that
malign our short acquaintance, Victor, but uh, you you have been very useful to us. But the Baroness could largely serve the same purpose. Unless you disagree, in which case I would be happy to be disabused of my misconceptions.
yeah, and between you and me, and I am whispering this so she can't. Well, I'm sure she can hear because she's freaky like that. But I do like you maybe a little bit better, but that's mostly because you haven't yet uh, been instructed to kill us. So, you know,
Yeah,
she was very nice.
it's not like once the contract drops, you're just gonna immediately dispose of us, right? Because I thought we have a good thing going here, and maybe we like you a little bit, you know. But I'm not sure if you like us or even me. I'm not sure why I would even mention that, but you know.
That is the question. It's one that you have been afraid of our entire time together. That's why you wrote a contract first before we traveled. And for good reason. I know what I am, and I know what you are. I must ask you some truths. What are the figurines that she speaks of?
Ulrich looks pointedly at Roger, and I think thinks in the ring. I mean, it's not like the Queen doesn't know. So, do we let the cat out of the bag for this individual who's a little lower on the social hierarchy?
Hmm.
Well, it would be true to say that we don't know what they are, like what they do, really.
And what will you give us in exchange for our honesty?
Are you trying to negotiate?
You, why do you
Oh
want
man,
why do you want or need to know? Um,
that is a good question. You're not always forthcoming with the questions we have for you, Victor.
This is true.
this,
But I figured if all cards are on the table, that a common comment that she made about you and about your interaction might tell me more about what drives the Baroness in this way. Obviously, she wants to take you there herself. There must be more of a reason than just because you are who you are.
clearly, it's
I
ambition.
need you to prove to me that she's not just trying to take you to kill you. But I suppose it does
Well,
not
yeah.
matter if you wish to abolish the contract.
Wait, but again, if we write the same contract, Baroness, we have a contract here. Hey, actually, that we will read out to you. Would you be uh perhaps amicable to signing off on this contract once we've read it to you? And forgive me, I'm not really in a passing it off kind of mood. I feel like that might be a risky thing to do. Um,
We'll just make a copy.
I think
I'll
it's
do
just as
side
quick to read it.
and get some pens and paper.
Huh. Well, we'll have to make
Yeah, well,
amendments anyway.
Well, right, but how about this, Belgian? Yeah, you got your quill and your paper there. Why don't you start? We will dictate, and
Well,
you.
will we just copy this, or while you read it?
Well, no, we'll read it, and
Multi-draft.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, well, we'll read it out, and you kind of begin to draft things, or write it as we read.
Yeah, I can do that.
Um, while
Very good.
that is happening, Roger, I assume you're still kind of being watchful over things, right?
Oh yeah.
All right, I'm gonna message you something.
Okay. I am looking for the actual text of the original contract,
Yeah,
which
that's fine.
God knows where it is.
I
at this
pinned
point.
it in the
I
OOC. So
was gonna say, yeah, it's
And I've got it here.
I got it. Yeah, I see it. We
would you like to read it out?
well, the clauses are pinned, but the parties to the agreement are also important.
Well, yes, but excuse me. We know the parties to the agreement are the party minus the pup and Victor. So
Yep. Yeah, so we'll replace Zictor with the vampire, um, and
uh
and refer to
yeah.
us as the diplomats, without explaining what that means. We can hammer that out
hmm
in text later as needed. Should the
Yeah.
Baroness agree, but the vampire will make no attempts to harm, attack, or otherwise bring harm to the diplomats, either directly or indirectly. Clause number 2. The diplomats will make no attempts to kill or destroy the vampire, so long as the vampire abides by the terms of this contract. 3. The vampire will make any and all efforts required to grant the diplomats peaceful audience with the rulership of Necrata, for the purposes of negotiating a peace treaty between the lands of Necrata, Relic, and Seregen. 4. Um, The vampire will provide information detailing the nature of the rulership of Necrata, the relationships between the king, identified as Zachariah, queen, identified as Cordelia, and their subjects as needed, and provide information and advice where possible towards fulfilling the goals in the other clauses, included but not limited to the safety of all parties involved, and securing an audience with the rulership of Necrata. The vampire will be released from this obligation once the diplomats have been introduced in person to the rulership of Necrata and diplomatic negotiations have begun. 5. The diplomats will make all attempts to the best of their abilities to release the vampire from their current state of imprisonment, etc., etc. That clause has already been fulfilled. And then 6. Acceptance to the terms of this contract will be indicated by each party in writing by means of signature or other identifying mark. Each party agrees to abide by all terms/clauses in the contract to the extent that they are bound.
Oh, what do you think, Baroness?
I think you're terrible negotiators and your contract is full of holes.
I just used a fresh
Right.
sheet of parchment. There's no holes here.
So then you'll have no problem signing it.
Oh no, I have no problem signing it. In fact,
Right.
I have no problem giving you a little bit of a more airtight clause than you gave your current protector. You are
All right.
lucky that I still smell the hound.
Yes. Yes, we certainly did miss that little bit. And of course, we would be updating the contract to include um, Well, include the pup.
Yes, Baroness Bevon Therese will make no attempts to harm, attack, or otherwise bring harm to the diplomats or to any of their companions or associates within reach of Baroness Bevon Therese, either directly or indirectly.
All right, we just gotta keep you away from a bow and arrow or any magic, I guess.
Can we clarify what you mean by within reach?
Yeah, that's exactly what the point I was making sarcastically there. I feel like that specificity actually, uh, well, creates more holes, Baroness, but I may be wrong.
I mean, and she disappears from where she is, much to the surprise and actually very readily apparent dismay on Femur's face, and reappears right in front of Zictor, staring him down.
Zictor, as she's moving coolly, uh, kind of steps slightly backward, expecting her to appear in front of him.
Both literally and metaphorically, my reach, and she waves an arm like around and in front of her as far as it will go, and my sphere of influence.
All right. I think if we perhaps explain that a little bit more within your sphere of influence might be a more encapsulating.
She smiles thinly. Yes, it would.
So, what other holes might you repair by way of your creative language? Also, random question for you. What was your favorite food before you became a bloodsucker?
She seems genuinely taken aback by the question.
Probably rats.
Oh,
Mm, I didn't much care for the rats.
hmm.
Let's
Squirrel's
see.
okay.
Let's see. It's been quite a few decades. But I promise you, and the words I promise you take on that same echoey quality that you remember from the villa and
Mhm,
from across the quarry.
mhm.
I will do my best to recall.
I appreciate that. So, we're gonna add in a bit about within your sphere of influence. Again, I do feel that specificity limits us in some ways, but on the other hand, it's a more comfortable ask for you. And I have no issues with it. Guys, do you?
I'll need to see the full text of the contract before I agree or disagree.
Yeah, yeah.
Let us proceed anyway.
I will absolutely make any and all efforts required to grant peaceful audience with the rulership of Necrata for the purposes of negotiating a peace treaty. The success of the negotiations are entirely up to the diplomats.
Mhm.
Baroness Bevon Therese will make no attempts to harm, attack, or otherwise bring harm to the diplomats or to any associates or companions within my sphere of influence, either directly or indirectly. After the negotiations are concluded and the diplomats are safely out of Mayhenir,
So just to clarify, you're willing to sign a contract that even once the negotiations have concluded, you will still make any and all efforts or make no attempts to kill or otherwise harm us and our allies within your sphere. Am I hearing you correctly on that?
that is correct.
That is interesting.
Oh, it's
I
quite
am
good for us.
curious, actually. Yes, it is. It is quite good. I am curious. I know that you're under, of course, you owe fealty to Her Majesty. So, what happens if Her Majesty commands you to do otherwise after the negotiations?
I have trust that my queen would not put me in such a difficult situation. But should she do so, I will be in breach of a contract. And, well, I'm sure you are aware of the consequences.
Yes, sir. I follow. Just thinking about your well-being. Um. All right. Well, that's a good ad. I like
I
it.
also trust in your ability to negotiate this peace treaty.
I appreciate that.
This is perhaps
We
better.
did such a great.
This is perhaps better training than the contract we negotiated, since I was not uh, at advantage at that point.
Yeah.
Should you still wish it, I will continue to provide information detailing the nature of the rulership of Necrata, the relationships between King Zachariah, Queen Cordelia, and their subjects. I will continue to provide information and advice toward fulfilling the goals that the diplomats have in negotiating a peace treaty between the lands of Necrata, Relic, and Seregen. including, but not limited to, the safety of all parties involved and securing continued safety out of Mayhnear. I will, of course, be released from this obligation as soon as negotiations begin. Such time
I
will
want
be
to
marked
clarify that.
when you and the Queen are both entered in a room with the purpose of negotiating.
I would like to clarify this. Um,
Now, are you only released from this specific clause?
Yes, this obligation. This
very
is
good.
as
So,
you stated in the boiler plate.
yes. Yes.
Just wanted to make sure.
Mm, it's boiling, all right. It's bubbling.
So far as I can tell at the moment, this contract continues to make you safe.
The diplomats will
I appreciate that.
immediately release Zector from the current state of imprisonment. She smiles at him.
He grimaces.
And from his obligations under their contract with him.
Did you two just ever get along?
Oh yes. For the most part, we get along just fine. I have returned many possessions to the Baroness.
Right.
We
I
are
guess it's
only
just
at odds at the moment.
Yes, you did
Yeah.
return a certain elf to me recently. Before these people arrived in my villa.
Oh, which elf was that?
She looks at Zictor expectantly, seeing if he'll answer.
Yeah, anyone we know?
Feel free to message me, Baroness, just to make sure I'm on the same page.
I bet it's the one on the shelf.
You mean like Link over here?
Exactly.
Oh, that elf on the shelf. I thought maybe there was more than one, because every time I look for it, it's in a different place. Maybe it's just multiple elves.
Gosh, I keep forgetting about caps lock.
You gotta have caps locks on all the time, so you can look like you're shouting all the time.
Okay. That's what I thought. I just wanted to make sure. He points simply across the chasm And he says, well, her. He's pointing at the great
And,
creature.
Right, and that is. Did it have a name?
Ireland, I believe. He points at the creature that's made up of a bunch of bodies, and one of them on the shoulder of the beast is ire.
Yeah. Well, that's fun.
Looks like she's doing well for herself. You know, uh, found an accepting group. That's terrifying.
Yeah, it's just not great.
Yes, I did have to find a new use after our last encounter ruined so much hard work.
So, let's see. We're gonna release Victor from his obligations, and just kind of breeze on by this uncomfortable moment. Um, Acceptance of the terms to this contract will be indicated by each party. I mean, I can't imagine you got a lot to change there, but please do, as Roger would say, disabuse me of such any wrong notions.
Yes, a clause you forgot to include. Should Bevan Theris fail to meet her obligations, she will be struck unable to act for a period of time no less than 10 minutes. Or until such time the diplomats deem the punishment is fit, whichever arrives first.
Well, I must admit, I'm a little confused about this one. Um, so we have been very cautious of sticking within the letter of our current contract with Victor. If an accident happens, I'm just curious. If you don't act within accordance of your contract, that's already got its own problems for you. What is the advantage of this specific clause to you?
This would allow the Baroness to not perish if she did not fulfill the contract. This replaces that penalty.
Ah, I
Well, I
see.
like penalty before.
But you can see
Well, that's
why
interesting.
that would not normally be a case.
Well, and forgive me, Baroness, but a less scrupulous uh, group of individuals might see that as an opportunity to not just allow you to die because the contract was not fulfilled, but take your death into their own hands. I suppose then, though, the contract would just be null and void altogether.
Correct. That is why I did not feel the need to argue. If you betrayed me, I would have had full opportunity to respond in kind.
Yeah.
It is also why every step of the way I tried to regain a certain amount of power. Sure, it also was advantageous to the group, but you see what I mean.
Right. Well, I certainly don't have any major problems with that addition. Um,
I'm curious.
you know,
Doesn't including a clause like that mean that the Baroness could simply break the contract whenever she liked at the cost of 10 minutes of time? If her breaking the
or
contract
until
led.
we.
No, whichever happens first.
Oh, interesting. Right. That is phrased differently. Well, yeah. So, do you
Would
re-enter into the contract?
I.
It is, as you alleged, a group of less scrupulous individuals could easily take advantage of such a brief window of opportunity.
Right. But again, so we're not that. We're generally try to be even-handed and fair with you. So, let's imagine, as Roger was saying here, that you just decide, oh, I don't want to do that. I want to void this contract, so I'm going to act against the contract. You're stunned for 10 minutes. What happens after 10 minutes? Does the contract reactivate? Because you went into breach, is the contract now null and void and gone?
De facto, I am in breach of contract. The contract is broken.
Yeah, well, then we can't do that, can we? Because Roger's right. You being a little sleepy for 10 minutes is not really an assurance of that you'll carry out any of this.
Ulrich, you will find that the higher the role in the vampire community, the less willing they are to make generalizations. If you think this is problematic, then you will have. And he stops as soon as the Baroness starts speaking.
Or
Dear
look,
Ulrich,
I'm not an idiot.
if you have a
Yes.
suggestion, we can come to a compromise. But we have established we all have a resolve to not die.
Okay. I suppose my problem here, then, is that it's not. What would you feel about 100 years? You're stunned for 100 years. That's a blink of an eye to you.
Just a quick 100 years. It's nothing.
Yeah, for you, it's nothing.
Not yet, it's not.
Well, okay, 1 year.
We can work with
Like
this.
I'll go.
Ulrich, stop. Let her talk.
No, I'm not. We
1
haven't signed this
year.
contract. I'm just.
I am in agreement. 1 year.
Okay. So we know we know your floor. I want to now know your ceiling. 100 you said was too much. So you see my problem here is that again this is no time to you because I'll be honest, 100 years is where I started as a number that's a little outside my lifespan here.
All right.
This is it's just not a.
Ulrich,
Yeah, please,
Okay,
Roger.
Ulrich. Stop. Uh,
Please go for
we
it.
we 10 minutes is too short, for certain. But we all just want to not die. From our perspective, 10 minutes is too short for us to have that assurance, especially surrounded by other vampires. And even a year might be too short. But if 100 years is too long, very well, 100 years is well past the lifetime of all of the rest in this group, save me.
And me.
So realistically speaking, we need enough time that we, well, I'm still not happy with the clause.
Exactly. My problem is
It's not really the
this is the point.
time.
Exactly.
Because,
Roger.
and
That's the point I was trying to make.
allow me
Roger.
to.
Dear Ulrich. Dear Ulrich.
No, please continue with Roger. I'm just angry. Sorry.
You are so much like a young me.
It's a pretty hard insult, Ulrich. I don't know if I would take that.
Ro- yeah. Look, Roger's more intelligent than I am. I let my mouth run. Roger, please, I'll shut myself up.
The thing that we're concerned about is that if the action you take that breaks the contract gets us killed, we don't have the ability to retaliate. And if it gets us imprisoned for longer than 10 minutes, you do have the ability to retaliate. You can see how that might be a little lopsided. I don't think we need to have this clause. We don't want to die, and this contract is our way of assuring it. And you don't want to die, which means that you will need to uphold the terms of the contract. Is there something that you expect would force you to break the terms of this contract?
Expect? No. But even dear Ulrich knows to hedge.
Who are you hedging against? Like what? Your queen's obviously not going to put you in that position, you said.
I trust
We
she won't.
certainly are. And you said you trust that we will negotiate appropriately, so I don't really know what you need to hedge here.
Unfortunately, my trust is not blind. I would not have made it as far as I have in my designs if it was. And while I trust that my queen is wise enough not to put me in a rough position with this contract, while I trust that you will be artful and skilled diplomats, worthy and capable of negotiating this peace treaty, trust cannot go as far as faith.
Understood.
My beloved queen was not as wise, you remember, to trust my judgment to bring you all in the first place. She had to be convinced of your abilities.
Understood. Let us.
I have a suggestion.
I also have a suggestion.
Please, yes, please.
Instead of simply removing the clause to ease our concerns, let's amend it to say after that period of 10 minutes that the remainder of this contract, or in fact the entire contract, shall resume in full force.
Yes. We were of the same mind.
That assuages our concerns and allows you the opportunity to act again should you yourself be in danger, relatively swiftly, all things considered, without necessarily getting either of us killed. Assuming such a clause would actually work.
I am agreeable.
Would such a clause work, Victor? Or Victor?
Say this again?
Would such a clause work?
She is stunned for 10 minutes if she breaks the contract, but as soon as that 10 minutes pass, the contract reactivates.
It is your contract.
Just
If she signs it, it would work.
Well,
I'm happy with it.
I would
Nice
also.
insight, Victor.
if she attempts to break the contract, she will be stunned for 10 minutes. During the duration of which she will still be obligated to, prevent us from not do harm and so forth to the best, to the degree under her
Yes.
sphere of influence, which might be reduced while she's stunned, but that should guard her from destruction, and thereafter as
That's
well.
true.
Don't want somebody breaking her out of the stun and her having, let's say, 9 minutes and 30 seconds of free activity. Unbound.
I'd be fine. I mean, a way around that is to just reduce the time. She's stunned for a minute.
Very well.
All right. So, looking at time, has anybody been amending this as we've been going, so that it can be reposted and signed? Or does that need to happen off camera?
I have not been keeping up with it.
Yeah.
The characters have, because we established that Belzian was dictating, or we were dictating to Belzian, but the players sadly have not.
Belzian's going to need a new sheet of parchment because of how many times we've changed our minds.
Well, it's a good thing he was writing with the Quill of Embers, so it's all fading anyway. No.
We'll have to check the VODs on that one. Whatever those are. I can make a history check later if no one else wants to type it up.
Yeah, I can watch it.
Baroness, are those all of the clauses that you feel that we need to satisfy our goals and preserve the safety of all parties?
I have one more. Should the diplomats fail to meet their obligations, the contract will end immediately, and the diplomats will, upon their removal from Mayhenir, be given 3 days head start, then branded enemies of Malkavia.
If we
Can
complete this successfully, can we still be enemies of Malkavia?
Should you wish it.
No.
Okay. Very
Just
important. I
Belcal
needed to
or
know
like
that.
all of Necrata?
There's a few people talking at the same time.
Well, the Baroness doesn't have authority over all of Necrata at the moment, so she probably can't enforce that.
That makes sense.
That's correct. Yeah.
Just point of clarification. Can we allude to a safe removal? If the contract is nullified if we do the wrong thing here. You're giving us 3 days head start, but what's to say that we get safely outside of Maine here?
Your duties under the contract do not include whether or not you have successfully negotiated your peace treaty.
This is just for us not to kill her. Or try.
Well, yes, no, I see that, and I get it. I'm just
And also, I suppose, whether or not we release Zictor from his obligations.
yeah.
Which
No,
we would.
that's fair. I just, again,
There will be one
She
more
also was-
obligation.
okay.
The diplomats will return to Baroness Bevon Therese. Any ongoing experiments and inventions they hold in their possession.
I think you'll have to be a little more specific. So I have things that were invented by other people.
My inventions.
And what have you invented?
Yes, please list the specific items that you would like us to return.
Belzian turns a new page just for this.
Yeah, sadly,
It will tell you whether or not we're able to
we-
meet that obligation before we sign.
it would be a real shame if we didn't have the item.
Just curious, what do you want?
It says Ulrich as the Baroness's bag is hanging from his belt.
Well, let's name it. He doesn't know that she invented that.
We're just mortals.
If I
Sometimes
see
our memory
someone's
is a bit
iPhone,
foggy.
I don't know if they invented that iPhone.
You took from my villa a rather important bag contained within a very delicate experiment containing a link to disparate space. I call it a marsupialis pair.
Right. So, gosh, Roger, I don't want to make you angry. So, Do you?
And does that mean you're going to be
talk about the
quiet?
Yeah, I guess. I guess I'm asking. How do you feel about this?
Is this in or out of the ring?
No, I think asking how you feel about the claws is
Mhm.
you know
Uh,
is a fair thing. It just has.
all right. In
If
character,
you
this
agree
has
to
been
this,
like 2
I have
days.
a compromise. Or rather, yet an additional clause that you might find beneficial. Should you agree to this obligation, I will add the clause that I, Baroness Bavon Therese, am obligated upon successful completion of the peace treaty to continue the contract and deliver you safely to either wall.
Oh, Roger, how do you feel about that?
Um, that clause will need to include the time frame in which will be returned. um,
We can expound on the time frame, but by directly, I do mean with all haste.
I suppose we could come to such an agreement. When would you need your effects, inventions, you call them, returned to you?
Upon the signing of the contract. Oh, somebody didn't like that.
That was Ulrich.
So
Ulrich, it'll be okay.
so out of character for a second, Wombat.
Mhm.
It has been months out of character. I
Sure.
don't remember
Yeah.
whether we had found the bag with one or both of the rings.
So the marsupialis pair is inextricably linked. One was held by Ire, which Gormir took when he escaped. The other was held by the Baroness, which the party took when she was dead.
Gotcha. Okay, and the Baroness is only asking us to return the part that
bag.
we have.
Yeah,
right?
just the bag.
She has asked for the return of every
Anything that you took from
experiment
her.
and invention in your possession.
Yeah.
She didn't say that you took. She said in your possession.
Yeah.
Oh, that we currently have.
Right.
I'll
That
say
we
so.
may currently have.
I mean, I guess across the rings, or do we want to? I mean, it seems like the Baroness would really like to have these back, but it'd also be pretty useful for us to have.
Yeah, well, I mean, our escape plan is not as firm as it was, and if the Baroness is willing to take us to the borders, I'm all for it. But because I wanted to work with her from the fucking get go.
We'll say
But-
the way that she's phrased this is that she's not actually going to be obligated to help us out if we fail to secure a treaty.
Well, sure, but I mean, Oh, I mean, we can just add to that. Man, she must love this dead silence is happening. Um, we can just add to that
Don't
that
worry, they are
we
talking
will
in their
return.
rings, Baroness. It is okay. They are just discussing things.
I
Great.
mean, we can change the
Uh,
clause to
we,
just
we,
be the marsupialis and her bag, not giving up anything else that she would
Well,
consider an
oh, no,
experimental
no,
invention.
it's mostly that the marsupialis
no, it's
is
the
our escape
timing.
plan. Yeah, if we
Right. I was gonna
if
say that we return it at the end of negotiations.
yeah. All right.
Kind of like the
Well,
last thing.
we'll propose that. So instead of returning those experiments immediately, why not at the end of negotiations? Should
She smiles and at this moment, Femur, who has been wringing his hands frantically in the background, is in a unsure, kind of cowed manner, moving forward to catch up to the Baroness with one of the strange creatures in tow. The Baroness gives a knowing smile and says, "You mean, should you need to make an untimely escape?"
uh, well, if you want to put it so bluntly, yes.
Yep.
We would necessarily be leaving these things behind, available for you. And should we not need it, then we'd be happy to return them to you.
Then you will not mind an addendum that should you require this untimely exit, that once you have stepped through the pair, the contract is void.
Oh, naturally.
Void?
That seems
No. I'm
well,
quite
but that
quite happy with all of the assurances there. Um,
I mean, sure, but I feel like I'm not really sure I see a world, Roger, where if we have to make that escape, the contract is still active.
well, there's some clauses of that contract that guarantee our safety post negotiations that the Baroness added herself. I wouldn't want,
Right,
I wouldn't
but
hold up. I wouldn't want, for example, for us to decide we need to exit quickly, do so, and then the Baroness immediately fly through the rings and kill us.
She couldn't do it anyway.
No, if the contract is void, she would be able to.
I mean, she couldn't kill us even if the contract
you
was
mean
void.
Uh,
We've already proven that once.
right?
Setting aside that,
You also got to assume time of day because who knows how long the contract talking will take. It might be daytime when we go through the ring.
So,
we can't count on that.
but Roger, perhaps I'm wrong here, but why? I mean, obviously, one
So
shouldn't
many,
assume things.
so many of these sneaky clauses the Baroness keeps trying to add end the contract rather than simply allowing the terms to complete. I'm not happy with that. We've written all of our terms with a definite expiry, and we don't need to end the contract early.
Right. Well, I guess what I'm trying to say is okay. If Fine. If we do that, then the addendum that we need to be given safety continues. Right? I mean,
that if you should choose to beat such a hasty retreat, you have deemed my obligation unnecessary. Surely you did not bring both pouches with you? You surely left one end of the tunnel far outside Mayhanir?
Of course. Otherwise, we wouldn't be having this having this discussion about why we might still want them.
or more to the point, we only grabbed the one from you.
All right, so it is 10:59. I'm sensing an ending to this. So the contract as it stands, all right, is mainly the same with a few addendums. The one that's kind of being contested right now is the entering through the Marsupialis would end the contract or continue the contract. Just to kind of see if we have a conclusion on that. Do we have any final thoughts from the Baroness?
Final thoughts? Ugh.
Or shall we continue the negotiations next time?
I think we should continue the negotiations next time.
Okay.
Although it is a shame that we couldn't come to agreement tonight. Time is time.
Is everyone okay with that?
Yeah, we can continue next time.
Heck yeah.
Okay. So, next time will be in 2 weeks, the 9th of April. Does anybody have any conflict with that?
I should be good.
Should be good.
Sounds good.
I'm not aware of any conflicts.
How about Brambles?
No, can't do it. I will just simply be too busy lounging and eating bonbons. We'll have to pick another day. No, I have no conflict at this time.
Okay, awesome. So, folks, we will see you in 2 weeks to see what happens next. But also, more importantly, what happens when the party gets eventually to Maynir, which should be happening, if all goes well, next time. But we're in Necrata. Nothing goes well in Necrata. And with that, we'll see you in 2 weeks. Bye.
Join
Good
us
night.
next time for Attorneys in Era Krokras.